My name is Sala-Haquekyah, and excuse me, I'm not really in the. My name is Sala-Haquekyah, and I've been a community activist for 25 years in San Francisco. I ran for the Board of Supervisors of Bayview Hunters Point. I have fought for justice and equality for many people that have no one to speak for them. I have received certificates of honors from the Board of Supervisors and also from former President Clinton, and a single mother. I'm saying that to say of two, is that I am not a criminal. And what happened on November the 24th was in Bayview, someone broke into my car, burglarized my car, busted my window, stole my radio and went into the trunk. I called the Bayview Police Department and asked them to come and send someone out to do a report. They told me that in that particular neighborhood, basically, that they could not send an officer out because it was not a high priority. 3 weeks later, I was going up on Silver and Palouse, and the police pulled me over, going to my doctor's appointment. They asked me to get out the car, put my keys on the ground, put my hands on my head, asked me if I had any guns in the car, and proceeded to put the, cuffs on me. They asked me if I had any guns. I said, excuse me, but what is going on? They said that my license plates had been reported stolen. I said to Officer Lee, why don't you check the system and see that I called in 3 weeks ago and reported my car burglarized? I said, and you did not send an officer out. I said, I'm a community activist for 25 years. I said, call Sergeant Garrett. She's a friend of mine. I fight for this community and find out I am not a criminal. He did not call no one. They locked me up and took me to Bayview and transferred me to 850. When I went up in the processing unit, I was calm, even though I was hurt. I told him I had a son at home that couldn't feed himself. He was a minor. I needed to get home. They impounded my car. They put me in the processing unit and said that I was being charged with a felony, and that I had to sign a paper to have my DNA sent into a database with murders and rapists, and told me if I didn't sign the papers, they was going to add another charge to me. Do you know that they took me upstairs in the processing unit, and there was 3 officers, and this is not about a racial thing. It was 2 African-American deputy sheriffs. One name is Deputy Reed, and the other 2, I don't know their names. And they asked me they said to please sit down. I said, I didn't respond. I was looking at the papers because I was so humiliated about the DNA. I didn't hear the first time. They said I said sit down. I sat down the second time. They said I said shut up. I stopped talking to the inmate. Next thing you know, 3 officers came, put handcuffs on me, and threw me on a glass wall, and put the handcuffs on me, and then pulled my braid out from the root, from the scalp, and the braid was on the ground. An inmate felt so bad, she went and picked it up. She didn't want nobody to know. They put me in a holding tank for an hour and came back in and said, in this place, you sit down when we say sit down. You shut up when we say shut up. You move when we say move. And I didn't pay any. I looked at the wall because I didn't want to get aggressive. But when they was being aggressive with me, I said, him denied be called. Baraka, I started praying in another language. I said, you will be held accountable for what you have done to me. I didn't resist. I didn't fight. An hour later, she came out, took me up. 2 hours later, took me up the stairs and kept pushing me and pushing me and pushing me. I said, officer, I don't know which way to go. They kept pushing me and pushing me. And the next thing you know, I thought I was going in a holding tank where I was going to sleep. And the next thing you know, my face was smashed up on the wall. My lip was busted. My teeth was chipped. They took my hand and gave me hand damage and almost broke my hand till right now I got nerve damage right now in my right ear. Almost bit it. Then they put their knee on my back and called 3 other officers and made me walk backwards like a dog for 10 minutes. And then they put me on the floor and made me sleep on the floor with a half a blanket and no toilet paper. And then found out they dropped the charges. Had nothing against me. I never even saw any, I never saw a judge. I never saw a court. They dropped the charges. Yes, they did. And found out that it was somebody else driving my car. And we got the pictures to prove it.
Did you even get an apology?
No. No, they wrote in the letter that I had violated the rules because I was speaking another language. And they said I put voodoo on them. and that's why I was beaten up in there.
The SFPD.
Therefore, it's time for us to take a stand.
Yeah.
It's time for us to take a
PD
stand.
in the Bayview, San Francisco.
I asked Officer Lee in the Bayview, I said, why didn't you put in the report that I reported my car burglarized? Why didn't you profile me as a criminal? I said, why didn't you call Sergeant Gary, put in a report that she was a friend of mine? Why didn't you take a stand? 10 minutes? Oh. Was off. This is real, and I'm sorry if I'm not moving according to the time. But this is not about show form or fashion. This is about realizing that we have the power and the responsibility is laid up to us. We're not criminals. Treat us like we're human beings. They had me walk backwards like I was a dog. And John Barris has taken my case because I have a thick this high of me fighting for this community and justice. I'm not a criminal. I shouldn't have been beaten in there by Deputy Lee. I mean by Deputy, not Deputy Lee, but by Deputy Reed. Thank you.
Fuck that pig!